Hey everybody, it's Paul John Elliott here. I wanted to throw out some stretches and offer you some self-care stretches that you could do while you're self-isolating and while we're being responsible and keeping our social distancing regime 100%. I have found that I tend not to spend a lot of time on my phone. It's not my favorite thing. It's hard for me to hear when I'm on my phone, and I tend not to spend a lot of time on my phone. But lately, I found I've got like a lot of time, nothing but time, and I've been on my phone and getting into these really awkward positions where, because it's been days and days on end where I've been doing this, I found myself going, normally, I actually have my phone right here. So, what I'm doing is I've gone from these, sort of responsible physical positions, where I'm stable and I'll answer, and I tend not to take a lot of time. You resolve a problem by text or email and you send it and you put it in your pocket. Where now, there's all these really cool videos and I'm tapping into people helping me with kettlebell swings or whatever is going on. And I find myself going from this to this, and once this starts, I kind of get into this really quickly. And then I get tired of my back, so I sit down and I do this. And normally I like to sit like this because it's just comfortable for me. And I find myself kind of getting into this and using the back of the chair and then put my feet up and I get totally comfortable. And I find myself doing this. For a few minutes it's not that bad, but in the back of my mind it's like I don't have it to be anywhere. I don't have to race off and do anything. I'm just going to finish watching this video, or my God, YouTube or Netflix or Crave, and I find myself on my iPad or my iPhone doing this. And for the first time since I've had a phone or an iPad, I find it really much harder lately to kind of unwind from that, and it's really it's disconcerting to me. So what I'm doing here, actually I don't want to keep this on me, is I will offer you some of the stretches that I do to get out of these positions so I can go into a kettlebell workout, or I feel more comfortable standing at the easel or drawing, which is something I like to do in my pastime. But before I get into the cervical spine, I tend to feel like I need to open up the shoulder girdle to gain better access to the muscles of the cervical spine. So briefly, what I'm going to do is I'll open up the muscles in the front. Now, the principles of active isolated stretching are that you need to send a signal to the targeted muscles from the agonist muscles. So if I want to open up the pecs, I send a signal from the back. I'm contracting, you have to release. It's basic reciprocal inhibition 101, and that's just the way active isolated stretching works. So I'm going to contract muscles in the back, open up the pecs in the front. It's really easy. Just the act of doing this sends the signal to release. Hey guys, who's that? Allison, Maya, hi. So I can also assist that by being more specific and using a door frame or a jog in a wall like this. And what I'm doing, what you're not seeing, is I'm not just hanging here like this. I'm actually actively contracting, and I tend to use my pelvic girdle to stabilize my body so I'm not just falling against the wall. The problem with this is, and I get this question a lot, well, what if I just hang at a wall joint or in a door frame, and that should be enough to stretch? The muscles will feel sensory rich, yes. You'll feel that sort of pulling. What's happening is that when you're hanging in a door frame, the muscles that are actually holding you up from falling forward through the door frame are the muscles that you're asking to stretch. And Sherrington's law states that a muscle will do one of two things: it'll contract or it'll release. So as you're loading up those muscles, yes, they'll elongate under load, but that's an eccentric contraction. Emphasis on the word contraction, which means that you're not sending a signal to release. So if I get the muscles in the back to release, 1, 2, I'm getting a full release signal in the front, and I can just add that 1, 2 second added pressure of about a pound of pressure. And how do I quantify a pound of pressure? It's not easy to explain, but it's a lot softer than you might think. So what I've come up with, if I put a raw egg, so if I'm stretching my head, or my neck, if I put a raw egg between my hand and my head, I should be able to affect positive change, 1, 2, by stretching the muscles but not breaking the egg or cracking the egg. That's about a pound of pressure. Or just imagine it like that. Or err on the side of caution, let's say. So I've opened up the front. I can do that just by doing this, action 2 if I want to be bilateral. And then if I want to open up the back, bringing the arm across. So I'm contracting the muscles I just stretched, and so now you're actively activating those muscles. Now the problem is that when we want to go for amplitude, we tend to shrug up and come across. It's a lot easier in the labrum for the arm to come across. But it takes away, that compensation takes away from the specificity of the stretch. So what I'm going to get you to do is just you can externally rotate your shoulder blades down your back, or think of them going into your back pockets. So externally rotate. You can alternate where your arm is, and you're just getting different fibers in that same stretch. But still, keep those shoulder blades down your back and come across. Grab above your elbow so you're not just bending your elbow. Come across. 1, 2, that same pound of pressure. 1, 2. I'll just do 1 or 2 or 3 because you don't really need to see me do 8. That's incredibly boring to watch someone stretch. So I've opened the front, I've opened the back. You can open up the sides as well if you want. And then I'm going to sit for this because I find that if I'm sitting, I'm a little bit more stable to stretch the neck. And this is where the problem comes in. I'm sort of finding myself doing this on my phone, on my iPad, and it's a lot harder to come back to an optimal position for my upper body. So again, we need to create an active agonist contraction. So for the neck, if I initiate the movement of the chin in, I'm activating longus coli, suprahyoids, chin comes in, forehead goes down. Now also, what you're not seeing is I'm trying to maintain this stability here, and that's part of my stabilizing. So I'm not doing this and collapsing down on myself, because any kind of compensation of the structure of the body will take away from the specificity of the stretch. So hold that position, hold this position, chin tucks in, forehead comes down, breathing out, and 1, 2. So what I'm not doing with my hands is I'm not grabbing the back of my head, because then I don't stand a chance. I can't get out of that. And so I'm going to tuck in, reach down, breathe out, and just the finger pads. As I get to end range, I'm still working down. 1, 2. Tuck in, reach down, breathe out. 1, 2, etc., etc., etc. for 5, 6, 7, or 8 of those. Second stretch is going to be, and there's 5 major stretches that we can do, but I'm just going to do 3 for the sake of the video. The second one is working laterally. Again, I want to stabilize my trunk and lower body, lower back and trunk. And so I'm going to grab the chair, either the leg of the chair, put my hand underneath the chair, or if I'm standing in a lineup, say at a, well, it's not very many lineups these days, but if I'm standing in a lineup at like a grocery store and it's been a long day and I've got, my head is sore, I'll just shove my arm behind my back and it stabilizes my head. Otherwise, if I'm doing this, I tend to sort of, so let's do it like this. Looking straight ahead, I'll pick a point, say in the horizon, or if I'm looking at myself in a mirror, I just want to rotate around that point. So I just want to do this. Otherwise, again, if I keep my focus on that, I can see what progress I'm making. So I'm going to do this, reaching the ear to the shoulder. 1, 2, again, super light. 1, 2. 1, 2. I should actually have brought an egg so I could demonstrate if it breaks or not. And then I would do the same thing on the other side. I do all the repetitions on one side, and then I do the same thing on the other side, so that the brain picks up that sort of positive reinforcement from the repetitions. What did it say? So it's going to do 3. Oh yeah, right. So I've done bilateral in the back. I've done lateral on the sides, and now I'm going to often in class or what I teach my clients is just go to like 15 degrees or 20 degrees or looking nose to knee, but you can do it like in increments. 3, 4, 5 degrees at a time until you get to whatever your rotation is at the time. You're not going to force anything. We'll always meet each other where we're at. I always meet myself where I'm at. I know I'm stiff or I'm not stiff. I really need to stretch that. I'll be very gentle, very conscientious about how I stretch. So for the sake of the video, again, I'm going to lock in or grab the chair, tuck in, reach down about, I'm going to say 5 degrees off, and then just that one hand on that side. 1, 2, 1, 2, etc., etc. Oh my God, all these people. Hello. I'm waving to everybody. So, anyway, so I've opened up the shoulder girdle in the front, shoulder girdle in the back, shoulder girdle in the side. I've opened up the back bilaterally, laterally, and then in increments from the erector muscles off to the levator scapula, probably upper traps, into the rhomboids. So this is what I've been able to do. Now, it's just not enough, because when I found that, if I've got into this phone position, my iPhone neck, I really need to also sort of activate the muscles that have been contracting all that time. So what I'm going to do is I'll put my elbows on my knees, drop my head down, now that it can go down, reach up with my eyes, or look up with my eyes, let my head follow my eyes, and then just add a little bit of stretch to that. Or when I say add a bit of stretch, I mean just challenge those tissues. I can get to end range, but just add a little bit more. But the further down I am, the more isolated my shoulder girdle is going to be. 1, 2, and 5, 6, 7, 8 of those. So now I've opened up the front as well. Now, it's one thing to open and optimize, and that's great, and it feels really fabulous, but those muscles have been sort of elongated, and that's all they know, and I'm elongating them, not opening them, and optimizing them more. So what I want to do is add a little bit of strengthening to them. So if I've done this, right away what I want to do is add some strengthening, and the head weighs about, 10 or 12 pounds? The jury's still out on that. But if I look up and let my head follow my eyes, I'm just using the weight of my head to activate these muscles in the back. I can also lie on the floor, the Cadillac or my massage table or my floor at home, and do the same thing, tuck my chin in. If I'm lying supine, tuck my chin in and just slowly lift my head off the floor so I can activate these muscles. So the muscles are now starting to wire and fire together, whereas before they just know to contract and stay in those positions. So these are just some of the stretches that I found myself doing a little bit more. I mean, I teach them all across Canada for the last 15 years, and I've never really found that I've had to do them in this way on myself until the last 7 or 8 days. So anyway, I'm going to do a series of these stretches in the coming days and weeks. If you have something really specific that you want me to do, let me know. I'm not exactly sure how Facebook Live works. I just know that it was there, and I thought, yeah, I should just go ahead and do this instead of do some sort of edited video where everything's sort of slick and clean. Again, if you have something that you want to ask me for, or want me to contribute very specifically, please let me know. Text me or video or message me, or just let me know right here. Oh, somebody just said something. Yeah, you're welcome. And thanks, Tanya. And all these little bubbles, I guess they're good things. Yeah, well, no bad signs there. Anyway, active isolated stretching is something that's really easy to learn, and you don't have to be a licensed therapist to apply. You don't have to have any special knowledge. Just let me know what it is that you want to do. I'm going to keep on doing what I think I should do, or what I really need to do for myself, because I have so much more time. I'm doing a lot more kettlebell workouts, but I'm also doing a lot more couch iPad workouts than I've ever done before. So whatever I feel I need, I'll just contribute it here. So let me know what you want, and oh, hi Shelly. All these people I haven't heard from. Yeah, let me know what you want, and I'll just throw that out there. So I'll get back to you probably again tomorrow, which will be Sunday, and then Monday there'll be a series of stretches. There's like 50 of them I can do, so just let me know what you want, and I'll do that. Okay, take care, you guys. Bye.